Well, good morning and welcome to the WLOX Expert Alert. This is where we have businesses from different areas of the coast come in with some representatives to talk about what they do, services they provide, and how you can benefit definitely from them. Well, today on the show I have a couple of gentlemen from Bradford O'Keefe Funeral Homes, Justin O'Keefe, sales manager from there, and Jules O'Keefe, who is the assistant manager pre-need sales.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being on the show. Of course, you know, I've met y'all before. We've talked in the past on my usual show, but here we got something brand new with the Expert Alert. If you would, Justin, give us a little bit of background about Bradford O'Keefe.
Yeah, well, our family has been here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast for over 155 years. Serving. yeah, that's right. I'm actually a fifth generation serving the family, and Joel's being the sixth generation.
Awesome.
And so that's pretty exciting because most family businesses, or most businesses in general, don't last past the first generation, and very few make it into the second or third generation.
Right.
And so to be here 6 generations is really amazing. And so it's just wonderful to be able to serve the families of the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Now, Bradford O'Keefe, of course, does so much as far in the world of the the funeral business. Want to talk about something with you, Jules, that I'm very familiar with, because there was a time when I lived in Nashville where I actually worked for a funeral home, and that was a family services counselor, and that's the importance of pre-need sales, or you planning ahead of time.
Yes, sir.
Before you go. So talk about that, if you would, for a moment.
Well, so basically a lot of families think of funeral planning as more of at need, like when somebody passes away, then they come down to the funeral home, but a lot of families don't think of pre-arranging, basically to set it up on a pre-planned basis. And you can basically set all your services up, either full service cremation, set it up on a pre-planned basis where you lock those prices in, basically get all your services set in place where essentially you don't have to make those decisions at the time of a passing, because you don't want to be making emotional decisions or anything like that. And a lot of the times it goes very smoothly when you have pre-plans, because I've had situations where somebody was kind of unsure about pre-planning, set it up, and then actually had a passing, and then understood the importance of pre-planning, have everything set up on a pre-planned basis, so it went very smooth.
My parents had their plans through Bradford O'Keefe, and they passed away several years ago. But yes, it definitely makes a big difference, and it takes a lot of emotional stress off of the family, because when you go in there in an at-need situation, that you're stressed out, you don't know what to do, you're not sure the decision that you make, and what is best, or following the needs of what or the requests of the loved one.
Yes, sir. And a lot of the times people don't realize that you lock those prices in at today's prices as well. I actually just worked with a family that had pre-plans about 10 or 15 years ago, and they saved a lot of money by locking those plans in. So, and then of course we have different insured plans, dollar for dollar plans, and we basically meet the family's needs on the pre-planning basis on exactly what they want to do and what they want to set up.
And of course, whenever you do go in and make one of these plans, and then you just it's like you make payments on it.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to pay for it all up front, kind of thing, but you still get the discounts. And then you also find out the different types of burials that are available to you, because there are so many different ones out there. Like we were talking before the show. I mean, you got cremation, you've got mausoleum, you got in-ground, and so many different things in that area.
And even with cremation, a lot of people don't understand you can do cremation with memorial service, without memorial service, just a graveside service if you're doing full service. So there are many different options and many different decisions and choices to be made that we could do that on a pre-planning basis, opposed to waiting to the time of passing then coming in.
And it makes it a lot, again, it takes a lot of emotional stress off of the families themselves to take care of that. Now, one of the important things as well is transitioning assets. So if you would, Justin, talk about exactly what that means.
Yeah, well, a lot of the families at the time of death, they don't realize how many certified death certificates they need to transition assets from them to their spouse, or to their children, or to the other people. And so we help the family navigate through that. I mean, you can use photocopies of certified death certificates for certain things, like your gas bill, your water bill, your power bill, your cell phone, credit cards, things of that nature. But there are a group of people that require a certified copy, such as insurance companies, banks, deeds, to transfer property deeds from one family to another member. And so we help them navigate all of those nuances to transfer those assets in a smooth way. where it doesn't get caught up in probate court and all of those sorts of things.
And that's one of the things they definitely want to avoid, not ending up in probate court, not knowing where your property is going to end up. I mean,
Right.
I could say, I want you to have this land.
Right.
But if you don't have that in writing, if you
Yeah.
don't have paperwork on that, and then you have the certificate to back that up,
Right,
it's
exactly.
going to court.
Yeah,
It's
that's
going to
right.
court. And then it could be
Absolutely.
a long battle. And this again, that's the importance of a will. But that's another show.
Right,
We'll have to get an attorney to come in here one day and talk about that.
Yeah,
On the importance of that. So, but what other things are very important that people need to know whenever they go to make plans ahead of time?
Yeah, basically one of the biggest things is affordable. You can set up on a monthly pay plan, lock those prices in, and you can basically just make the monthly payment. So then that way you don't have to worry about the at-need where you come in at the time somebody passes away, then you have a big funeral bill. You can do all that beforehand. So that's one of the big, basically big bullet points on why it is good to pre-plan.
And of course, doing it ahead of time, you can set the plan up to where, as you were talking about, whether you want to have a memorial there at one of your funeral homes, or at a church, or how it goes with that.
Right, exactly. And a lot of people don't realize also that there's a lot of other charges at the time of death that are incurred. For instance, like you have the obituary notice in the paper, or
Right.
what have you, flowers for the memorial service, the death certificates, the minister's honorarium, and all of these things. These are peripheral charges that are other people's charges, but they have to be paid at the time of a service. And a lot of people don't realize that it's a lot more than just the funeral involved.
And one of the things too is, and I can't remember what it was called because it's been so long since I did this, but if you're having an in-ground, was it opening and closing or whatever?
Right, that's correct.
Yeah, the opening and closing. Whenever you have to, as far as digging the hole, the grave, or whatever, and then closing it back up, you have to pay for the opening and closing too.
Right,
There's
right.
so many little different things that people don't realize.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't realize too that you need a certified death certificate to actually file the insurance if you're going to use insurance to pay for your funeral. So it's one of those things that it could take a couple weeks and could drag out a little bit if you don't have pre-plans to actually get all that taken care of.
And again, it just takes such a burden off of a family's shoulders. You get your pre-plan set, and I mean, it's a great thing too. If you go in, do it yourself. Do it on your own. I mean, if you're single, do it on yourself. Like the sign says there, live well, plan ahead. That's something very, very important. You live well, plan ahead. You got it planned when you go in and set up with it. You take care of a loved one. There's different services and things that are offered there. You can go to Bradford O'Keefe's funeral, the website,
Right.
Facebook page, and it's got all kinds of information on there. If you have any questions that you have, or if you want to, give them a call. You have
Yes.
locations all over the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, yes, we do. We cover the whole coast of the Mississippi Gulf Coast, from the coast of Louisiana to the border of Alabama.
How far north do you go?
Yeah, we go all the way up to basically Wiggins, north of Wiggins, in that area, up into Stone County. We cover all of Stone County and George County. And so we cover the whole entire Mississippi Gulf Coast.
So it's good for, make an appointment. And let me tell you what, I know it sounds like, Jim, oh, this is so morbid or kind of thing. You would not believe the peace of mind that you will have when you take care of this, get it done, get it out of the way, knowing that if something were to happen to you or a loved one, like I said, my parents had it done, so it was so much of an easy thing to deal with whenever they did pass, because they had already had the arrangements made. So I know coming up in the future, next month you'll be back. And
Yeah.
we're talking about some other things like out of area protection. Exactly what is that all about? But there are so many different things that are involved when it comes in making your plans. But pre-planning is should be at the top of your list. It really should.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
absolutely.
For getting that done. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you for being on the show. It's great to have you here. And of course, we remind you that you can go on Facebook, you can go online and find a Bradford O'Keefe funeral home near you. Call and set up an appointment, or you have family services counselors
Yes,
that
that's
will
right.
come to you.
Yes,
because
sir.
we used to do that as well.
Absolutely, that's correct.
And go to visit them in their home and help you make that decision that will give you definitely peace of mind. So, Jules, Justin, again, thank you all for being here on the show this morning, and we'll be back again soon with another expert on Expert Alert on WLOX.
Yeah, thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir. Thank you.
If you have a question for any of our experts, go to WLOX.com and click on Expert Alert. For a list of any of our upcoming experts, go to WLOX.com and click on Expert Alert.